So what are you thinking about? What are you talking about? What are you doing? And what kind of example are you? So when you take the law of the lid and you're looking for a great person, it's your job to find people who are inspired, pull them up, and create a great person. And that's how you get great people. I'm going to change all of your mission statements in your businesses to find, attract, develop, inspire, and lead remarkable people in my organization. That's all you should say in your mission. Because if you just do that, they will take care of your business. It doesn't matter what your business is. Does that make sense to you guys? That's the art. That's the secret. You develop people. You don't bring great people into your sphere of influence. You develop them. You find people who are hungry. You find people who will understand that inspiration, discipline, leadership. Inspiration, discipline, accountability, alignment, transparency, and results is how you drive your business. And you're looking for people who concede that that's their priority. That's how you create remarkable people that work with you. Intrapreneurs, highly engaged, highly active, highly responsible. You create those people because you are those people. Those people don't find you. So let's go to the next question. This is my private group. For those of you on Instagram Live, this is my private group of business owners that are firing off their questions on how to build, scale, and grow their business. So welcome. I'm just letting you guys know what we're doing here.
Perfect. You kind of touched on this. Oliver wants a little more detail. We've heard you say this, Brandon, and it's changed people's life and it's changed their business. What you think is what you say is what you do, and that becomes your legacy, right? At this moment today, what should you be thinking?
Let me tell you guys, every morning from 8:30 to 9, every single morning, our whole team is on that Zoom call. First thing is, everyone goes through what their wins were for the day. Second thing is, updates from leadership. What we need everyone doing to work as a team for the day. Third thing is, everyone in our company knows exactly what our financial target is to break even. Every person that works for Cardone Ventures is responsible for finding ways to generate revenue if those ways help somebody who's willing to pay us for helping them. The third thing is transparency. Everyone knows what our break even is, and everyone gets told every day what our revenues for the day was. No exception. Then everyone talks about their opportunity to add to the revenue. The whole meeting only takes 30 minutes. Then we scan through a book. Somebody says stop, like Grant does. We read either Grant or Beyond Positive Thinking or John Maxwell or Jim Collins or Robert Anthony, Beyond Positive Thinking, or Michael Gerber, and then we describe how we can incorporate that in the business today. Every single person on the team must train on 5 Cardone U modules every single day. And then we randomly draw a number out of the hat, and they have to talk about what they learned, how they're applying it to the business, and the impact that they intend on creating. Then I role play with them. 30 minutes. That's how you keep your team engaged. That's how you create discipline, accountability. That's how you incorporate inspiration, discipline, accountability, transparency. You got to align your team with the results. Everyone knows that if we go below, let me be clear, if we go below the break even, that whatever percentage we go below the break even, they get their salary reduced by the same percentage. Why is this important? Because everyone needs to feel the success and everyone needs to feel the pain, and everyone needs clarity across everything we do, how they can contribute. Because Active engagement with your team members in good times and bad the success of your business, the success of your organization, the determination of your leadership by them will be transparency and alignment and how to win to get results with you. If you create that within your organization, everyone else will take care of the details. And then when people come into your system and that's so uncomfortable for them, they will select out. So remember, out of 100% of employees, Gallup poll says 28% are actively engaged. Those are entrepreneurs, highly aligned, highly engaged, highly active, highly inspired, results-oriented, and highly aligned with the magnitude and mission of the organization. You have to create that in your business. It does not create itself. You cannot abdicate that to the culture. You are responsible for the culture. So if you understand those principles, you don't need a lot of details. People individually need to know how they can contribute so they feel inspired to contribute. People want to contribute. The people who want to sit on the sidelines and watch, or the people who are actively trying to pull people away because they're NIOPs, negative influence of other people. Gallup poll calls them 27% of the bottom 100%. Active, disengaged employees will sabotage you. Your community inside your organization, your ecosystem, should feed on those people and spit them out. You don't need to worry about them. The top third will worry about them. Because most business owners spend their energy on their bottom 20 or 25% trying to get them engaged, and they ignore their top 25 or 30%, and then those people leave because they don't feel loved, they don't feel honored, they don't feel inspired, they don't feel like you're connected with them. If you're a business owner, you should identify your top 20% of your actively engaged people, and you should only spend your time with them. You shouldn't be talking to anybody else. You got 10 employees, that's 2. You got 100 employees, that's 20. You got 1,000 employees, that's 200. Your job is to create leaders of leaders that live by your principles that you're an example of. And what this is doing in this correction is giving you all an opportunity to restart everything and be that example. And by you opting into my program and by being willing and committed to being here, it shows an attitude, a desire to do something remarkable coming out the other side. And see, this country needs entrepreneurs who take the responsibility of building a big business serious. We need to put people at work. There's 25 million, maybe 28 million registered unemployed from 90 days ago, and that number could be doubled when we're done here. So let's assume there's 50 or 60 million Americans out of work in the next 9 months. What a remarkable opportunity to take the best of that group and put them to work inspired to build your organization. And every one of you should be thinking, how do I get 100 of those people? How do I get 1,000 of those people? Well, they won't come looking for you. The best of those people are going to look for someone who can put them in a position where unknowingness creates fear and insecurity. Knowingness creates security. The more you can create knowingness on how to grow personally, professionally, and financially, working with you and for you, because that's your commitment, the more you're going to create an army that's going to pursue doing that for you. So don't ever ask, if you're with me, never ask the question, how do I find a great person? Or how do I hire a great person? You find, attract, and develop a great person. Ask me, how do I attract a great person? By giving something up to them. What do I need to give up? See, learn how to ask that question. Brandon, help me learn what I need to give up in order for me to attract somebody greater than me that can help me do something more impactful. That's how you ask the question of how you recruit somebody into your sphere of influence that's there to help you and assist you. Not, how do I hire a great person? You have to develop those people. You can inspire great people to join you, but you're going to have to give a hand before you ask for one. So, great question. I hope that answer helped you guys. All right, what's the next question?
Awesome. We'll go to Nick next, but first let's do Consueta. Let's bring you up. Say it again. I know I butchered it last night. Conchetta. I like it. Hey, by the way, welcome. This is your first Owners Live, isn't it?
I'm excited.
Yeah. Go ahead. What's your question for Brandon?
Question for me is my CEO is my spouse, and he has done an amazing job holding his business, hazmat business, at the $3 million mark for about 10 years. And it dipped down last year, and I brought it up just from the behind, just from encouraging him and such, $1 million. But he's stuck at that $3 million mark, and I'm like on 10x, rapid movement, massive action. We're just stripping everything down to the foundation. How do I balance that when we have someone who's really experienced in his field and someone like me who knows how to gather the tools to forage? It's kind of we're at this.
Yeah. So let me tell you. So this is again, law of the lid. So I use this over and over and over. Business. This is breakpoint one. What do everyone tell me where I tell you breakpoint one's going to occur? You guys know what? Put it in the chat.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's breakpoint one?
Listening. Breakpoint one, guys, in the chat. Let's see it.
Put it in. I want to see how many people are paying attention. Breakpoint one. No, not 1 million. Breakpoint one's up to 3 million. There you go. Up to 3 million. You can keep a handful of employees going and active up to 3 million. You can keep it all together because it's all centered around you. Oh, I get my cousin, I get my brother, I get my friend from church, I get this, I get that. But once you get to 3 million, man, you got to have systems, which is exactly what you heard her say. Breaking it down, process, systems, all this stuff. So breakpoint one is the ability to develop other people and show them exactly how to execute. Let me ask this question. How much of the production of the 3 million is your husband?
20%.
And how much of it is somebody else? 80%?
80%.
And how many people make up the 80%?
1.5.
So you've got...
And my executive assistant, basically.
Okay, so how much production are you doing?
I'm doing too much. I'm
No, just tell me how much you're doing. How much are you doing?
I'm doing 78% of the 80.
Okay, so...
It's not sustainable.
Yeah, I understand, but you're doing... Why isn't your husband doing 78% as well? Wasn't he doing the 78?
That's a great question.
So this is great thing about... Look, I've spent my whole life in family business ranging from 1 million up to 1.8 billion. I work with fathers and sons, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, cousins that all work in billion-dollar companies, and they're going to inherit them, and none of them get along. It is ridiculous. I'm loving this Michael Jordan series because after 5 rings...
Yes.
After 5 rings, the management and ownership were threatening to break the team up, and then they brought everybody together for the 6th. Why wouldn't you, after 5 wins, say, let's go for 10? Why wouldn't you take somebody who deserves to be making a lot more money and just say, dude, you're such an anchor for this organization. We love you so much. You've proven your weight in gold. Scottie Pippen, we are going to change your contract and give you $10 million a year instead of 2. Why wouldn't somebody do that and then go for 10 wins? They wouldn't do it because their ego, they're short-sighted, all this, because the Bulls could have had 10 wins. Everyone on the team was ready to do it. It was management's poor management, poor leadership that destroyed that enthusiasm and excitement because their egos. Don't do that to your business. So your husband is generating 20%. You're 78%. The issue here is you and your husband have not made the business a priority. The priority in the business is to orchestrate what you both do that allows you to succeed in revenue generation. Then the second priority is to duplicate that through other people doing it with you. So it's the law, or it's the rule of 3. The first rule is somebody perfects the process. So you're generating 78% of 3 million. So you're doing 1.3 million to 1.5 million. That's about what a personal producer can do in most businesses. Mm-hmm. What you need to do is identify every granular detail of every single thing you do. Are you on Cardone U every morning?
Oh, yeah. 5 seconds. Yeah, it's the first thing I do. I get up, coffee, card on you.
Okay, you should write down what modules you're training on, and you should then make a list of how you're going to take the special sauce of what you do, and you should be recording yourself like we are right now, and you should be uploading that in Card on You so an employee can watch what Grant talks about or what I talk about, and they should be able to watch what you talk about. Then you should role play that with them. And they should be sitting with you for the next 90 days. You hire somebody who's excited and enthusiastic and wants to make a lot of money, and you paint that picture and you say, in 3 years, if you do everything I'm going to teach you, do it exactly like I teach you. Don't deviate, don't change, don't think you're smarter than me. Perfect what I'm teaching you. Once you perfect what I'm teaching you and we're working together and you find a nuance that you think you can make it better, I'll let you test that. And then if it works, we'll incorporate it, and I'll give you an extra incentive for being a doer, thinker, doer. Then what happens is you go in the process of 3. So you create that first person by granular documenting every single thing you do, creating the training regimen. Then you do 100 of it with the new person. Then they do 100 of it with you sitting there. You modify that. Then you both do 100 together. That's a 90-day process. Make that a 90-day commitment, all of you. Then at the end of the 90 days, they should be performing where you were performing. Then go hire 2 more people. Have them sit with that person, do the exact same cycle. Don't change anything. Have them sit with that person, because here's the thing. When you hire people who go to work for you and they see what you're doing, if you haven't duplicated yourself, they think that you can do it because you're the owner and you're smarter, or everyone would be doing what you do. So there's a natural belief element that diminishes people's acceptance of what you're able to do because they think you're unique. The more you can show them that anybody could, hey, I hired this guy 90 or this gal 90 days ago. I trained him exactly like this. True leadership is making other people's success easy and tying that success into something that benefits them. That's how you become a builder of people, to become a builder of an organization. Then what you do, and the rule of 3, is you bring in 2 new people. You have them train with the person you trained, and now you're asking the question, did I properly teach the person that's now training to properly train? The way you know that is they spend 30 days with the new person watching, 30 days with the new person doing, 30 days with the new person. See, the new person now has 2 people. So now you're making the job fun, you're making it competitive, and you're making it interesting because the new person's got to keep up. Now you're making the new person do 3 times as much role play, 3 times as many calls, because they're doing it with the 2 new people. So they're learning that their job is not about what they do. It's about the ability to develop others to do it. That is the message you send instantaneously. Then you pick the best of the 2 they're working with, and you go through the same cycle. You learn how well your person is training. You learn how well they're developing, and you incrementally add value to the new person. Then you do it again with the other person. And when you do that, you take 2 new people and you put them underneath the new person. Now they've got 2 people, you've got 2 people. Now they're generating $3 million in revenue with the 2 new people, and you're generating $3 million in revenue with the 2 new people. Now you find your best of those 6 and you put them in charge of 2 new people. Now you've got 9 people. 9 people all doing as a group $3 million each. You're now $9 million of revenue. Your systems are dialed in, your training's dialed in, your leadership's dialed in. Then you take the absolute best of the 3 pod leaders and you make them in charge to replace you, and then you're out. And now you're thinking about how to go to 30 million or 50 million. You've got all the systems, all the processes, all the procedures. Then you spot check. You go, oh, you know what, today, you don't tell them what you're doing. Hey, today I blocked out a window. I'm going to be with somebody for the day. And you just randomly do that across your 2nd tier line, and you will find the holes. Then you fill those holes. This is not allowed. This can't happen. This isn't okay. You fill those holes. Do you understand? Everything about building a business is algorithmic. You got to lay the foundation for this. Does this make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So you are struggling. You're struggling because you haven't laid that foundation. You need to go watch the rule of 3 in the Scale Up program? Is everybody in here, Heather? Tell me, say yes or no. I can't remember. I can't keep track. Say yes or no if you're in my Scale Up program as well.
Oops.
No, okay. We've got some no's.
Yep, this is the issue, man. So here's what I want you to do. Anybody that's in this program, Josh will differentiate, but any money you guys spend with me is all going to get applied to a 10X 360, or any money you've spent since this has started that's in this system. Any money you spend in this, if you spent the 1,000 or you spent the 5,000, or if you've already done 10X 360, I offered it to you for 3,500 because you already spent 30 grand with me. Any amount of money you spend in this series during this window, I will apply it to a 10X 360, or I'll apply it to a platform if you choose to go. So no one's going to waste any money. But here's the deal. Every single no needs to talk to Josh. If you haven't been through a 10X 360 and already spent 30 grand with me, it's $5,000. If you have already spent the 10X 360 and you've been there, it's $3,500. If you've spent $1,000 a month to be in this private group, then whatever you spent the $1,000 a month will be applied to the $5,000. If you're going up, you get 100% credit for any money you spent with me, because I want you guys to be ready to go on the other side of this thing. So,
Brandon, can you talk about, there's a couple new people in here. I know some of them know about the Scale Up program, but can you get into the detail of what they're getting in that Scale Up program? And I know you continually add to it as well.
I keep adding, man. It's like going to be the best piece of work I've ever done. For 25 years, between acquiring 120 businesses, doing multiple rounds of private equity fundraising, taking my business public at 29 years old, being a public company, a consolidator, then franchising 900 locations, then that selling, and then starting my business from scratch, and then rebuilding from scratch, generating $50 million of profits without borrowing a dime, without going to the bank, without raising capital from anybody, and then selling it for $150 million bucks, 77 times EBITDA. All that, and the strategy between what I learned from John Maxwell, Michael Gerber, Sharon Lecter, Robert Anthony, Jim Collins, Story Musgrave, the only astronaut, flew all 5 space shuttles, designed, deployed, fixed Hubble, smartest guy in the world I've ever met, built our whole operating system with strategic business units and everything off of how NASA operates. All that knowledge, all my experience, Grant Cardone's imprinting on me, 10Xing in exactly every single thing I know, I've tried to condense the short answer, the short version, and the structural aspect of exactly how to do that into the Scale Up program. So you have context, then the other programs will be the programs you need to develop depth, so you have contrast. How I'm doing it versus how I should do it. Every decision you make going forward should be based on 2 factors, context and contrast.
Love it. Nick, let's pull up. Nick has a question. Nick Lippett. How are you, Nick?
Good. Sorry, I was just taking notes there. So my current question is, my current sales had exceeded last year's as I was planning on 4 times growth. My question is, with the current uncertainty, do I hire additional people to complete the current sold work and have more teams to help me continue to grow? Or do I hold off to make sure my current teams have guaranteed work for the rest of the year?
So what we do is we take your revenues, your cost structure, your profit, and your cash. And you need to create a rolling forecast. And if you're not doing that, put in the chat, and I'll have Josh set you up. We'll figure out what we can do to help you do that, what program you need to get in to help you do that. And you need to project out, and you need to work against how far out you can operate without going out of business based on those factors and any PPP money or other money you get in. So that will run your calculation, because there's no good if you, like, I have a business owner, it's like, I got all my employees on payroll. I got too many projects, too many jobs, but there's no money coming in. I said, how long can you actually stay in business? He said, 2 months. I mean, that's like going to the blackjack table and putting all your money on one hand. It's just, so to answer your question with honesty and integrity and with certainty, we need to look at the calculations with you. I don't want to give you bad advice. So I'll have Josh set up a call between you and Mike Halloran, and you guys can talk about this, and then we'll answer your question based on what the data is showing us. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, that works.
All right, guys. You're never going to get a bullshit answer from us. All right.
All right, we've hit the 1 o'clock mark. Now, Brandon, you can keep going if you want.
I'll go another
15.
15. Oh, wait. You know what? Actually, I have a call at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, you do.
I got to put, hey, people are asking for Josh.
Jay Dawson.
Jay Dawson.
At Cardone Ventures.
At Cardone Ventures.
That's right. Jay Dawson at CardoneVentures.com. You can DM him in here. And Enrique, I don't know, Enrique or Josh, do you guys want to hang back and answer questions about Scale Up while we bounce?
Yeah, listen, here's the thing. How many yeses on the leadership program? Do you guys know?
I think it was like 50-50, honestly.
I mean, honestly, if you got, so here's the thing. If I put that program together, I got to reshoot all the content. But what I want is a legitimate yes. If I do a program that allows you to pay monthly, so it'll be a 15-month program, and it will incorporate conversations like this, 2 boot camps when it's done, and I will drive you into being the most impactful leader you could ever imagine being in your business. Text yes at the bottom, and we'll evaluate, because it's going to cost me to redo all that. It's going to cost me probably about $500,000 to redo it the way I want to do it, and the next probably 30. If I have enough yeses, I'll go in the studio and I will shoot a week at a time, because if you want it that bad, I want to deliver it to you. And anybody that's on the live stream that's saying yes as well, email jdawson@cardoneventures.com and we'll get your information, because I'm trying to figure out, like, it's a huge commitment both to you and to me to get this done, but I am committed to do it. I'm going to have to hire a second or third camera crew and writers, but if you're serious enough about it and you're saying, yes, I will do this, then I will make the same commitment back to you guys, and I promise you I will not let you down. So
awesome.
Here's the deal, and if you're on live stream and it's a yes to you, then you need to email jdawson@cardoneventures.com. So I love you guys, man. I'm going to leave the guys on the line. I can't wait. Listen, if I did not answer your questions, we're going to post the 50 or 60 questions in our private group. By the way, anybody on live stream, all these questions they have get answered in our studio, and then we post them to a private group, and you can see everyone's questions, everyone's concerns, and everyone's answers if you're part of that group. So my commitment to you is to not let any of you down. We're in a war, we're front lines, we're at battle, and I want to overperform for you guys, because this is the army that's going to come marching out of this thing to create millions of jobs, and it's our job to do that, to provide you guys the tools, resources, and firepower to do it. So here's the deal. Any questions we didn't answer, I promise you I will shoot them in studio over the next 4 or 5 days, and we'll get them posted along with the ones that were already answered. God bless you guys. I'm going to sign off here. Buck, you guys can take it from here.